My name's Jeff Genant. I'm originally from Arizona. I've been in Charlotte since 1998. Met my wife, Lisa, here in 2002, and we actually got married at St. Gabriel Church. So Lisa and I have been married for, it'll be 20 years this year, 20 years October 29th, and we have 3 kids. We have twins, Griffin and Josie. They're 14, Jillian is 15. All 3 of them were baptized here at St. Matthew. And then when COVID happened, we converted them back over here for school. So they went to St. Matthew's School, and then now they're at Holy Trinity and Charlotte Catholic High School. Yeah. So Lisa does some of the reading sometimes, and she's a Eucharistic minister. My daughter's a Eucharistic minister now, Jillian is. And then Griffin, Josie, and Jillian, all 3 of them have been altar serving since I think they were like 8 years old. So it's been wonderful. I used to be a Eucharistic minister before COVID happened, and now we help as greeters. Even when our kids didn't go to school here, we've been active here with some of the charity events that they do, the food drives, and we've always kind of sat. It's kind of interesting. We've always kind of sat in the same area. It's just fascinating to me. I think back on that, but. Even when the kids were 1 year old, it didn't matter. We've always sat kind of by the music section in those first 2, 3, 4 pews. And, it was a struggle, in the beginning with the kids because, they're kids. And, but we just forced ourselves to kind of fight through that, even though you had some folks maybe around us who were real happy about it. And, but it's really taught our family and our kids that this is just where we sit. Just for us, I mean, if we sit too far back, it's hard for. We all have ADHD in my family, so it's hard for us to stay focused and stay connected. And so sitting up there is that's what we do. No matter what church we go to, we sit in the first couple 3 pews so we can focus and listen and get the most out of it. But we sat purposely, I think, on the music side so that we could somewhat entertain the kids when they were younger. And it's just funny, that's where we sit now. I went through RCIA at St. Gabriel's before we got married. And I did that in 2005. And the interesting thing about that is that my wife, Lisa, was a cradle Catholic. I grew up non-denominational in Arizona. And my dad, a big believer, and it was excellent growing up with him. And that's where I got my faith from. But the one thing I always, I didn't love about where I went to church was I always felt like I was following a man, versus following a bigger tradition. And I was always drawn to the Catholic faith because of that. I just really liked the tradition where it didn't matter if I went to church in, Arizona or Charlotte or a foreign country, I'm gonna get the same 2 readings, the same gospel, and just a little bit of a different homily or spin, but I really was drawn to that. So long story short, when I decided to go through RCIA, I always felt that I wanted to make sure that my family had a unified front. I want to make sure we were on the same page from a religious standpoint, from a faith standpoint. And as I was going through that process, it was an excellent process. I learned so much. And it's funny because my wife said when she was going through it, she learned more going through RCIA than with me as my sponsor than she did her previous 30 years of experience. So it really took her back to school and what she had learned. But what I realized when I was going through RCIA at the beginning was I thought at first I was doing it for my family, but then as I got into it, it was really for me. And that's what was pretty cool. It was like I really, really, really enjoyed it, and it brought me closer to God. It really did. So we're so busy right now with our kids. Our kids are all active in many, many different sports, theater, school. My daughter's starting to drive, but it's the one thing we do every week as a family. We may not be able to eat dinner together all the time, have lunches together, but we go to church together. We're very intentional about that every week. So it's our happy place. I mean, it is. So we come, and it just brings us back full circle every week to the secular world, so to speak. So coming to Mass, it's just a peace. There's a peace about it for me personally. So yeah, I mean, the interesting thing too, as a kid, my dad was very faith driven. My mom, was, but not as much as my dad. But I just remember as a kid, it was always, it was, for me, not as much, but for my sibling, sometimes it was a fight to go to church. Kids don't want to go to church, they want to go play with their friends, do whatever they want to do. But I find it fascinating with Lisa and I being so intentional and on the same page, my kids never complain. They love coming to church. It's just something that we do as a family. And, sometimes we are on road trips, and I can think of my daughter Josie, sometimes we wouldn't go to mass. We got stuff going on, we're on a vacation, whatever it is. And Josie would ask, she's like, Dad, we're going to church today, right? So she would hold Mom and Dad accountable. So I look at that, and it's just, I find it fascinating that, as children, it's just, there's no pushback. We all enjoy, it's our family thing. It's the one thing, especially as they get older, the one thing we do as a family every week. The silver lining for COVID for us is, the schools we were at were great, wonderful. I mean, I thought we would still be there. But when COVID happened, it was important for us that our kids, and we looked at St. Matthew before, but the schools we were at were fine, they were good. We had relationships there. But when COVID happened, we just felt that we needed to have our kids in school. I mean, they were in third grade at the time, and rising fourth grader, rising fifth grader at the time. And it was a big silver lining for our family, for our kids to start to go to St. Matthew, and now at Holy Trinity, and now on the Charlotte Catholic. They're just, for us, I mean, they're getting the message we want them to get. And so it's been great.